Hey guys, Prowl 1701 here, and today I'm going to be talking about yet another 10 great moments in 10 bad Doctor Who stories. Now this is the third entry in this little, list I've been doing. You can check out the first one here, and I'll probably have links to the first and the second one at the end of the video. So if one that you don't think is on this list, that should have been on this list, it may have been either on the first list or the second list, as this is the third entry in that. But we are going to talk about 10 Doctor Who episodes that are either bad, or in a couple of cases, not necessarily bad, maybe more middle of the road. There are maybe a couple of them here that aren't outright bad, but are just more middle of the road, maybe. I'll note them when we get to them. But they still have something about them I like, a good moment about them, or something about them that I'm like, I appreciate that in that episode. And we're going to talk about those bright spots in what else might be considered a bad episode to me. And we're going to start with Space Babies. I wasn't a huge fan of Space Babies. I think it's very silly in places. The whole boogeyman being a boogeyman, what we Americans call booger man. Oh, that was disgusting. The little fart thing at the end. I couldn't take it the talking babies. I can't take it seriously. But if there's one thing I did like about the episode, it's the chemistry between the Doctor and Ruby. Shooty and Millie just seemed to click together instantly. And for these two companions to click together that fast, I think there was a little card that says they'd been traveling for like 6 months at this point for whatever reason. But I really appreciated it, and I've only watched the episode the one time, but I really liked the way they were getting along, the way they were interacting, the way they were bouncing off each other. They had this real kind of kinetic energy I liked, and I really enjoyed that about the episode. That was the main standout to me, was just that their chemistry was really, really good. I was really pleased with that. Also, I like the woman that's kind of the nanny. I really got a kick out of her, especially when they realize it's an actual person. I did think the actress playing her did a really good job. Next on the list is Empire of Death, and I guess to an extent, The Legend of Ruby Sunday, because Empire of Death is just a dreadful episode. It is. It's one of the worst season finales Doctor Who has ever had, classic or modern. It's a huge letdown, very disappointing. Has very little going for it. I do like the memory TARDIS, and I like having Mel back, even if I don't agree with what they did with Mel. But there is one thing about both of those episodes, Legend of Ruby Sunday at the end and Empire of Death, that I did really enjoy, that did kind of make my day. And I can sum that up in 2 words: Gabriel Wolf. I love that they got Gabriel Wolf back to voice Sutekh, because I love Pyramids of Mars, and Gabriel Wolf is great in Pyramids of Mars. I loved when they brought him in The Impossible Planet 2-parter to voice the Beast. He's fantastic at that. I love him in the Triumph of Sutekh audio, which I have down here, with the 7th Doctor, where he voices Sutekh. I really like, especially since he had to be like 91 when they recorded his lines. 91 years old, and it's still, he has that voice that's so chilling. So while I don't care for that 2-parter that much, I love that they went and got Gabriel Wolf back, and Gabriel Wolf just kills it. Anytime he is voicing Sutekh in those episodes, he's just killing it, and I love that. Next on the list is Sleep No More. Now, I personally don't find Sleep No More a bad episode, personally. I know it's considered by reputation to kind of be a bad episode. I will say I think it's underrated. I used to think it was a bad episode, but I rewatched it a couple years ago. I don't think it's a classic. I certainly don't think it's a masterpiece, but I find it enjoyable. It is a episode that I enjoy while admitting it has its flaws, but it has a couple things it does I like. One, I like its villain. The little dust in your eyes, when you sleep, becoming a creature, because the sleep cycle is so long that it, becomes sentient and then eats you. I love that idea. I love when Doctor Who takes something normal, like a statue, for example, or a shadow, and makes it into some kind of monster that can kill you. Doctor Who does that so well, puts that little evil twist on it. So the idea of the sleep in your eye, the dust in your eye, being carnivorous and killing you. That's a fascinating idea. I love that. Also, I like the found footage. I like how Doctor Who tries to tackle found footage here, with the whole twist being that none of them are wearing cameras. It's the dust particles scene. You know, you find out at the end none of them have cameras on their helmet. I liked that little twist as well. I thought those were actually implemented pretty well. Again, it's a flawed story, and it's got a kind of an odd ending. But it is one of those stories that I think is good for a rewatch every 3 to 5 years, maybe 3 or 4 years. And it has some neat ideas in it, even if they're not perfectly done. I like those ideas. Next on the list is the Twin Dilemma. The Twin Dilemma is not very good, let's be honest. I don't think it's the worst classic Doctor Who story of all time, like some people might. But it's definitely not very good. But there's a few things I like. I like the actor who's playing the other Time Lord, Asmiel, whatever his name is, the Doctor's old friend, the one who rules the other planet, or used to. The actor playing him is very good here. I like how he plays the character. I also like the costume for the slug creature. I think the costume for classic Doctor Who is realized really well. And I like the basic broad strokes of the plot. Not necessarily some of the details, but the broad strokes of the plot and what the kind of slug guy is doing to try to spread the eggs across the universe. That's fascinating to me. I actually think the broad strokes of the plot works. It's not a good episode. The Doctor has done a huge disservice here. The twins' acting is bad, and Perry's not my favorite companion to begin with. Again, the Doctor's very frustrating in this one. And they really should have just ended the season on Caves of Androzani instead of leaving the viewers to have that bad taste of the Twin Dilemma in their mouth for 9 months before we got Attack of the Cybermen. But it does have those few bright spots for me personally that do... It's watchable. It makes it watchable for me. Next on the list is Black Orchid. I'm just not a fan of Black Orchid. Again, it might be a stretch to call it bad, but I'm not a big fan of it. But one thing I do like is the location work. The location work looks really good, especially since the film elements survive, as the film elements for season 19 survive. So on the Blu-ray, the film elements look gorgeous. I love watching the Doctor play cricket. It's kind of nice just to see the Doctor having a slice of life moment where he's getting to play cricket and being really good at it. Now, I don't understand cricket. You have to understand crumpets to understand cricket. And as an American, I don't. But it's fun watching him play, even though I have no idea what the rules are or what's going on. But he seems to be doing very well. And then I love watching... I like Tegan's outfit in this. Her little parade outfit. She wears her costume. And I like to see her doing the Charleston. That's pretty cool. I got a kick out of that. And Janet did that really well. So it's definitely some moments I like in a story that I don't think is necessarily bad, but I'm not really a big fan of. I can sit down and watch it. It's only 2 parts, but it doesn't do a lot for me. Next on the list is Joy to the World. Again, I don't know if I'd call it necessarily bad. It does a lot of things I don't like. I found it a bit uninteresting. The suitcase bit's a bit uninteresting. I hate that modern design of the Silurians. The idea of the hotel, though, I like. The idea of the hotel is good. I don't like the ending with it being the North Star of Bethlehem. Seems a little sacrilegious to me, to be honest. And plus, I just find it eye-rolling. I'm not even the most religious person to be by far. But I just find it eye-rolling. But I did love the scene. I love the timey-wimey shenanigans when the Doctor meets his future self. And he's like, this is why nobody likes you. This is why you don't have any chairs. I don't have any chairs. I like that scene when the Doctor is confronting himself. That's pretty cool. And then that whole scene when he's having to live that year with Anita. Is that her name? Anita? I can't remember if that's the actress's name or the character's name. First off, I like that character. I'm just going to call her Anita. But I liked Anita. I like the actress who played her did a really good job. I liked watching the kind of friendship bond that formed between her and the Doctor in that year. And then just that whole sequence of the Doctor having to live normal life. Especially the scene when she hands him the plunger. He's like, this might be loaded. It's a nice little dialect joke. And the bit about why is the microwave bigger on the inside? I mean, it got a little silly there, but it was still fun. I mean, he really shouldn't be kind of doing that, but it kind of reminded me of Matt Smith when he repaired the kid's toy in Time with the Doctor, and when he's like, I got a little carried away with it. So just imagine the microwave having that kind of technology. A little bigger on the inside. Is it? So I did enjoy that scene a lot, though, when he was having to kind of live normal life with her. And part of that is, again, the actress is doing a really good job. Her and Judy just seem to have good chemistry. So I'm not a big fan of that episode. Again, calling it bad might be a stretch, but I'm not a fan of it. But I love that scene. That scene was really cool. Next on the list is The Woman Who Fell to Earth. And again, bad might be a stretch. I'm not a big fan of it. But this is one I've said before, I'm always a little kinder toward fresh off a rewatch. It's like, right when I've rewatched it, I tend to remember things I like more that just kind of fade from me over time. I'm not a big fan of, especially the villain. The villain is just very not memorable at all. And then the way the Doctor defeats him is what sets up the problem in the finale, so she kind of messes up there too. But I do enjoy the scene when she's making her Sonic. I love the scene when she makes the Sonic. And that little bit when she gets it working, it sparks at her, and she's like... Also, I love the Doctor in the goggles. I don't know why, I just love 13 in the goggles. I wish she would have wore the goggles more. But I liked her making her Sonic. That's a really good scene. Also, it has a nice cinematic look to it, this episode. Very, very un-Doctor Who-like. You know, you're not used to Doctor Who having that cinematic feel to it. Which is really impressive. And some of the special effects look really good, like the little ball of electricity and tentacles and stuff. That's a pretty cool effect, I got to admit. So there's definitely some stuff in there, even if it's not an episode I'm not too keen on, but kinder to fresh off a rewatch. Next on the list is the God Complex. Now, I've mentioned this before. I'm not a fan of the God Complex. I think the script is rubbish. Complete, utter rubbish. But I think it's directed well. It's shot well. Like, everything except the script seems to be pretty good. I think the guest cast are really well done. I especially like the girl that really clicks with the Doctor. You could see her as a companion. She's kind of an almost companion, and it really sucks that she didn't make it through the episode because the actress is just absolutely killing it, and her and Matt have, again, good chemistry together. She would have made a better companion than some of the people who have been companions. I love the way the camera angles they use on some of the corridors, which kind of give it this off-kilter look, this sense that something's off. It's shot really well. It's just the script is absolute rubbish. The actual story makes no sense. I just don't get into the story. But I can watch this because I love how well it's directed and how well it's shot. Next on the list is the Rings of Akatan. This is another one that I find this one very boring. I just don't get into it. I find it uninteresting. But it has that great speech by the Doctor at the end. I've seen universes freeze and creations burn. I have seen things you wouldn't believe. I have lost things you will never understand. I love that speech. It's just Matt Smith pouring his heart out. All of that stuff that he keeps bottled up in him. All that stuff he keeps buried inside him that he doesn't talk about. He's just letting out. So take it all, baby. I love that speech. It's such a good speech. It's luckily this isn't a two-parter, so I can kind of get through the episode for the speech. And it's not even him that saves the day, of course. It's Clara, and that actually works here. Whereas the past can't sustain the creature, but all of the possible futures she does can. I buy that. But I'd still love that speech. It's a great speech. And the last one on the list is The Power of Three. And I just really like the scene when the Doctor's trying to kill time in the normal way. I've talked about this before. Power of Three is pretty rubbish. Like, I don't like it. Chris Chibnall. It's just a terrible episode in my opinion. Although I do like Brian in it too. I've always liked Brian a lot. Rory's dad. It always sucks that we never got any closure with him knowing what happened to Amy and Rory. Since that one scene never got shot. But I do love the scene when the Doctor's just there trying to live like normal time with them, and he's so bored. He's over there painting the fence and bouncing the soccer ball on his leg, or football, whatever you want to call it. I guess it makes way more sense to call, what the rest of the planet calls football than it does to call American football. It makes way more sense the way y'all do it. And then he does all that, and he's like, how long has it been? And they're like, an hour. And he's like, how do y'all stand it? I love that scene. And Matt Smith plays that scene with such a comedic feel to it. It just has this huge comedy element, which obviously it's supposed to have. But I love it. It's great. And plus, it's a great introduction to Kate Stewart, which I really like. I think Gemma plays Kate pretty well. I don't always like how Kate is written. I think Gemma always plays Kate well, but Kate is hit or miss depending on how she's written. But she's very good in her first one. And, of course, the reveal of her being the Brigadier's daughter is a great reveal. I love that scene, and I didn't connect it. I should have when she said her name was Kate Stewart, but for some reason I didn't put it together. It wasn't until he tells her, don't worry, Kate, and he looks at her, your dad never did. And then, he's like, how could you not be? That was a really touching moment. I really liked that. Just watching him realize, who she was. I did enjoy that moment. It's not a good episode, but definitely some good parts in it. So that's 10 bad, or not in every case bad, in some case just not great, or that I just don't particularly care for, episodes that have great moments in them, or things I like about them. I want to know what you think of these moments and these stories. And again, if you haven't seen one on this list you think you should have seen, check out those first two lists. I'll leave some links to those probably here at the end. Don't forget to click the like button and the subscribe button as well. I also have a Patreon if you'd like to support me on that. There is a link to that down there. I have a P.O. box if there's anything you'd like to send me to look at and review. Love getting fan mail. Makes my day. I have a link to my Amazon wish list down there. A link to my Amazon UK wish list is also down there. Check both of those out. I want to give a shout out to some of my top tier patrons, Finn Perkins, Colin Coney, Unknown289, and Sam Venning. I appreciate their support, as I do the support of all of my patrons and my YouTube members. Most importantly, thank you for watching. Hey guys, Prowl 1701 here. Hey guys, Prowl 1701 here, and today we're going to talk about yet another 10 bad Doctor Who stories that have great moments in them. So 10 great moments in 10 bad Doctor Who stories. Now this is the third entry on this series. I've done one that was just called, let's do that again.